Hello and welcome to this episode of Tuning Tips by CS Tuners. Today's guest is Ziv Peled, Chief Customer Officer at AppsFlyer and one of our advisory board members. Hello, Ziv.
Thank you for having me.
The Customer Success Performance Index benchmark revealed again how champion companies achieve 28% higher NRR by fostering meaningful relations with key executives and spending twice as much time with them as the lagging companies.
Yeah. So I think that there's a few aspects here. The leadership, executive sponsorship. I think that that's a very important area that we can speak about. I think significant relationship is starts in the core of B2B SaaS. So if you think about the majority of vendors working with customers, and just imagine Salesforce and HubSpot as the CRM. Most of the implementations working on the default settings, there is an account, and under the account there are contacts, there is no person-to-person relationship in the CRM today. So we actually had to build a new custom object in order to create that CSM to one contact, CSM to second contact. And we have more relationships. So you can have a sales relationship, you can have a product relationship, you can have more people that are actually in a relationship with the customer on the other side. I think, when I started 2.5 years ago looking at that, my first goal was to make sure that we have that we know how many of those relationships we have, how many relationships we have per account, how many relationships as CSM managers. And then, after you have that available, then you can really build the next level. So what do we need to do? Where are we doing great? Where do we need to improve? So that's the beginning. What pushed me, and I can tell you that in the last year, definitely pushing more on the executive level, and not only from the CS side. So I think it's also a different relationship. So there's a relationship with a user or a champion. There is a different relationship with an executive. Some CSMs can manage it. Some leaders might need to manage it. And then there's also another layer of relationships with more what I call the financial relationship. That's more with procurement or CFO. That is, it's not a day to day. It's not so once a year, maybe twice a year that you need to maintain it. Usually in our space, it's being managed by sales.
Ziv, what is the next step you would recommend?
Yeah. So first of all, I think that what we develop over time is a methodology. So like other companies, they have CS processes, or I forgot the term, but bottom line, what we actually developed here is a lot of different processes.
Yeah.
But the majority of those also got a custom object in Salesforce. So over time, what we actually got is that the majority of the information that the system works on is alive in Salesforce. So what we see now is that when a CSM leaves, or when we need to hand over an account, the majority of the intelligence, the majority of the information is available for the new CSM. And the handover is much easier, much smoother, including the relationships. So
Yes.
the CSM can see what were the interesting relationships, what relationships do I need now to build with existing people that we already know. And I think even deeper, you understand the desired outcomes. You understand the goals. You understand the challenges. So when you get an account now, and they are in one or two challenges, maybe they have a red flag due to that, then you immediately know it's there. It's an object. It's live. Everyone knows about it. The sales team, the leadership, the manager, everyone knows that we have now a red flag and that it's classified, that it's a product issue. So also the product team knows. I think that's a game changer. And then going back to relationships, I think that there's so much we can do around relationships that is around pushing the engagement, knowing when was the last engagement, what is the next valuable engagement. What you said, I think is a great example. If we know if it was a meeting or a QBR, doesn't matter. If we had the important person on the call, I think that's very, very important. And I think that, long term, the relationship is also looking at that perspective of that person. We work with marketeers. Every 2.5 years, they change jobs. If we have a great product with great mission critical value, it's amazing. If we also provide great service, then that relationship doesn't die when they change jobs. It's actually it's a lead, and
Yes.
maybe it's either of two things. We either have now a new opportunity with a prospect, or we just strengthen in another customer. And I think that's key, because if you think about B2B SaaS and net negative churn, that's it. That growth is what I call the relationship capital. How many people you're working with, how many users are touching your system. Out of those, how many of those are relationships? How many of those are supporters? And in the end, how many can you get to the advocacy level? How many advocates do you have? How many people, when I sleep at night, sell AppsFlyer by themselves?
Thank you for putting these key relationships into perspective, Ziv.
Sure. Thank you.
If you would like to benchmark yourself and receive a personalized performance report, go to customersuccessperformanceindex.com and receive your performance score and your personalized tuning tips. This concludes our tuning tips for 2021. Thank you so much for joining us for this series. Until the results of 2022, I say goodbye.